I'm going to go into how to nurture leads, which is just super important here because we have so many customers who have just they've blown it, and we've had to start getting really good at training our customers on how to nurture these leads and how to respond. Because it is definitely LinkedIn is a different platform than a lot of other ways you get leads. So the most important thing I can share with you is just don't be salesy on LinkedIn. Do not pitch in your initial messages. When someone responds to you, don't then immediately go and pitch or send a link. What you want to do is just kind of converse back and forth. Actually, I try to not send links on LinkedIn as long as possible into the conversation, because LinkedIn does this thing where it extrapolates it and creates this whole thumbnail, and it just kind of looks overwhelming. So one of the biggest things is just try to have a conversation with the person. Go back and forth and ask questions, but just do not pitch from the get-go. If someone asks, tell me more about what you do, you can share that, but then you want to ask them a question. And so the biggest thing, again, just don't be salesy. Wait as long as you can to go for that meeting ask or that pitch. The other thing, which goes right on top of that, is to just start conversations. LinkedIn, it's a chat platform. You'll literally see the little green dot sometimes on people, and they may be live on LinkedIn right there and just chatting back and forth with you, and you can even see when they're sitting there typing. So you want to have conversations with people. You don't want to write a whole giant essay to them. You want to just kind of mimic their conversations. You want to mirror their style. And this, don't try to close the deal on LinkedIn. The whole goal of this is to have a conversation with someone, qualify them, and kind of evaluate that they're a good fit. And then you want to move this to email or a phone call to really get that to the next stage of the sale. The other thing is just to research before you respond and take some time to personalize your messages. It's easy, especially when you start getting, if you get a lot of volume of this, to just pop open a message and just, fire off the same exact response to each person. But that's, again, going to kill your conversion. And if you instead take some time to personalize and research the company, you're going to see a lot better results. And so here's an example of this. This guy says, Jake, went through and trolled your site, and I'm generally interested in the process, what it all looks like at the end of the day. So I said, hey, Jared, that's great to hear. I'm equally intrigued by Super Top Secret as well. So I actually looked at his profile, and then I went through and I even looked at his website. So I said, hey, I love the work you guys did for Far Cry. I played the hell out of that game years ago. So it's a video game that they did a bunch of design work for. So I said, hey, let's set up time to talk more. You can grab a time on my schedule here. And so that converted because, again, it shows I'm real. I'm a person. I took some time to actually respond and make this real and conversational. So take some time to research your prospects before you respond, look at their LinkedIn profiles, look at their company websites, and just see what you can find to try to personalize that message on. The other thing is to just ask questions and to qualify and position yourself. You're going to get a lot of responses on here, and some of those people might not be qualified or they might not be a right fit. So using questions, again, is going to create conversation, and it's going to kind of help give you information as well. So here's an example of a guy. He says, cool, let me know more about what you do. He sends a smiley face. So I said, sure thing, Paul. I focus on helping agencies and consulting companies win more clients through a mixture of consulting and outreach services. So again, this was my offering before Lead Cookie. And I say, your client list for Brandtastic looks quite impressive. I'm curious, how do you get most of your clients? So, I look at his website, he had a bunch of great clients on there. I mentioned that. Then I ask, how do you get most of your clients? That question for me is going to give me a lot of information, because if he, says all these lead gen channels he has going, that's going to tell me one thing, versus if he says, oh, word of mouth and referrals, that kind of tells me a different way to kind of approach this conversation, or where he's at in his level of maturity of marketing his own business. So again, just asking questions is going to help you qualify. It's going to help you get information and keep that conversation going. The other thing is you want to eventually just move those conversations to email or phone. Using a widget like Calendly, super powerful. You can ask people for email. You can actually get someone's LinkedIn email off of LinkedIn once you're connected to them on a first-degree connection. Although sometimes it gives you their personal email, which can be a little weird. So I typically like to ask for their email, or basically use a booking widget to try to convert that over to a phone call. But booking widgets I typically find are the best way to convert calls off LinkedIn.